on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
the 3-time sexiest man in Millington, Johnny Harden.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday on a Sports 56 Happy Hour. Welcome in. Johnny Radio's got you all day long, all day strong till I pass off the baton to, of course, Brett Norsworthy in Sports Time, who's going to drive you home from 3 to 6. But we have a very busy show. We have Evie Van Pelt. And by the way, Evie is a friend of mine, but this is the first time I've had her on the actual show. She's a publisher of the Rebel Walk. She is a Ole Miss she's been covering, her and Brett Norsworthy. I can't remember, reading anything that had to do with Ole Miss, and Evie Van Pelt didn't have something to do with it in some aspect of, or some way, or wasn't writing about it. She knows everything about it. We're going to talk Ole Miss baseball, Ole Miss football. We're going to talk about all kinds of possibilities. We're going to talk about Lane Kiffin. We're going to talk about Ole Miss at 1:30 today with Miss Evie Van Pelt. Now, 2 o'clock, it's going to make you kind of laugh, because guess who we got? We're wrapping with Alex Kuhn like we always do. You know Alex Kuhn, that's right. And yes, he is brothers with Gabe Kuhn. Now, he's didn't play football. Gabe Kuhn is also a journalist. He's my producer usually. Carl Morris Jr. is in the hizzy. What's up, Carl? You know your Twitter today?
Say that again.
You know your Twitter today?
Yeah, I do.
What you got, baby?
Carl Morris Jr. 1.
Carl Morris Jr. 1. Yeah, give him a follow. But also always remember, it's very, very simple. My good friend Alex Kuhn and Gabe Kuhn, it's at G_Kuhn 71 for Gabe. Everybody knows that. And then Alex is at Alex Kuhn, Kuhn. That's at Alex Kuhn. 523, his birthday. That's right, 523. So at Alex Kuhn, 523. He co-hosts, so he's going to join us at 2 o'clock, get himself prepped. But Gabe Kuhn is also with his brother. They're in St. Louis, I believe, or they're in maybe separate locations. I don't know, but I know I'm blessed at 2 o'clock because I don't just get Alex. And I always have Gabe. I got Carl Morris Jr. over there today, but I'm going to have both of them at 2 o'clock. Hardenwood, I got funny stories. Carl's got a funny story today, so we're going to have a lot of fun. But the key is here, I'm going to jump on a couple topics, and I really want you to give me your personal opinion because, again, we're never right always. We're never wrong always. All we're trying to do is, at least for me, is have an honest and open discussion about the reality of some situations. Now, we never are all going to agree with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just the way the world is. We're not all going to agree. But I don't understand in life why it is when the pendulum swings, it swings so far to the left or so far to the right, and then so far back to the left, and then so far back to the right, that the problem is that when you swing that damn hard, you actually chop heads off. And I mean that figuratively, of course, but heck, you could think about it in history with the Civil War, certain thing. You could put it literal. The way that, the country treated Native Americans when they first landed here in this country back, if you want to count Christopher Columbus, 1642, all that good stuff. What I'm trying to say, though, to you is, out there, I just want to ask you personally, because I know that I think sports talk radio is great, but I think radio is the personal and it's the best medium because I get to actually come in your car, come in your house, and I get to ask you to think. And I want to know truthfully, how do you feel about the Washington Redskins and why? And the reason I ask this is because, again, I went out there and I'll have to tell you straight up. You can look at me on Sports 56 WHBQ. You can see me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram. You can look right at me. You can see, is my skin kind of red? My grandfather always said it, maybe not, but he was proud of it. My grandfather straight up, and on my dad's side, straight up Indian, Oklahoma. My mom, my grandmother, she's only 50%. So I'm probably, I'm like not a quarter, and I'm more than a quarter, and I'm less than a half. But I got a lot of Indian blood in me, and I know a lot of Native American people, and I know that they're very, very prideful, and they're a great group of people. What I'm trying to say though is it just bothers me that I feel like everybody's speaking for them, and I don't hear anybody listening to them. Florida State Seminoles have a thing with the Seminole tribe. Like the pride to be, the dude that goes out there and throws the flame in the ground. I mean, that was like, a very prideful thing. The other thing, like I'm saying, is my grandfather passed away this year, and again, he's the one that I'm speaking on my father's side. He loved everything Indian, and I don't care. He didn't give a damn if it was a character. It gave him an excuse to talk about what made him prideful. He didn't. He rooted for the Redskins. He rooted for the Indians. He rooted for anything. I mean, like when I think of anything that had to do with Indian, it just made him happy because he felt like, and this is what I'm just going to tell you what he always said. He says, I feel like, as mistreated as our people were, and believe me, come on, let's not act like, we know America's past, and America's paying for a lot of it. But that's the one thing about the pendulum that I'm trying to explain to you. When it swings towards justice, that's a good thing. But it doesn't mean you have to chop every head off because you think it might be injustice in your eyes. I've always said simply, and I've always said this because I listen to people like CJ, to people that I respect like Malvin Massey, to Ron Tillery, to people that talk to me honestly and openly, Marquise, like people who won't lie to me, who just straight up shoot the truth to me. And I also said the same thing. Like, look, I mean, the Confederate flag, they left the Union, man. They seceded from the Union. They started the Civil War. More American lives died in the Civil War than any other war. And again, in World War II, I just want to remind you, it's a very simple thing that I think an analogy people can understand. You can go to Fort Bragg and you could go to all these places. For some reason, we had Confederate statues and Confederate flags were flying at Talladega in 2020. Do you think that if you went to Germany that you can walk down Nazi Boulevard or Hitler Avenue, or that they'd have somebody out there, waving a swastika at a sporting event? So again, what I'm trying to say is those things are simplistic. We obviously see the outrage with George Floyd. That is simplistic. Man was murdered right before everybody's eyes. And we are making change. I just always wonder, why does the pendulum swing so far? And again, I reached out. And then I also found a Washington Post, thank goodness. It's by Teresa Vargas, columnist. She wrote this. She did a poll, 1,650 Native Americans, okay? She went to 16 different tribes. It took her 3 years to do this. And do you want to know the crazy thing is, if you want to take a very small way, 9 out of 10, if you want to take the small number, 9 out of 10, 90% had no problem with the Indians or the Nationals or anything. And she even writes in there, one person one leader of a tribe said, do you understand that this is the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.? Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, and the most powerful game in the world was football. And maybe they weren't that good, but damn, Washington D.C. is the most powerful place in the world. And they called their pastime, their football team, they called the Redskins. And again, I'm just reading again from her column. And 8 out of 10, or 68%, like they had 40 words, by the way. This wasn't just a poll. This wasn't just a survey. Does it offend you? Does it not? They gave 40 words on how you feel. And guess what? 68% said proud. Proud. So if 68% of real Native Americans, I can't even call myself a Native Americans, if they came out and said proud, and then 7 out of 10 said that the word, like in another question, the word redskin was a very simple question. Was it disrespectful to Indians? They got to do like a number of 1 through 10, if it was disrespectful or not disrespectful. So you have a scale. 10 is like it's really disrespectful. All these people, you add them all up together, it's just under a 2. Do you see what I'm saying? Like they didn't find it offensive or disrespectful. And then again, there is another person who comes out and says that, I'm just afraid that they're going to try and eventually erase us out of the history books completely. And I do know what they mean because, and sadly, my family, I can say, thank God they left the reservation. I wouldn't be on the radio if they didn't. You know what I mean?
It's a good thing they did.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, and that's a sad thing. That's heartbreaking. I'm sure my grandfather's heart hurts. But what I'm trying to say is don't sit there. I'm just so tired of it. Like, why do we always have to speak for everybody else? Why can't we let people speak for themselves? Like, I'm going to listen to you, Carl. I'm going to listen to people who want to speak up, but I'm not going to listen to a 21-year-old kid who doesn't know his head from his keister.
That's what I was about to say. Like,
I'm a racist.
I would honestly okay, I'll listen to your opinion, but if I hear your opinion, I'm not gonna listen to you tell me what you think I should be doing. No, I'm not. I
don't even know how to say this name, but the Cheyenne Hojali Muskogee tribe, his name is Harjlo, okay? He says, I don't agree with these people. I don't agree with the change. He said this is a valid way to at least to keep the Indian in the country. I don't care if you say Native American, Redskin. I don't care as long as we are part of the conversation. Again, that is not my words. And again, I don't know the answer to everything. And by the way, I want to bring you back because I cut you back off. I'm so sorry. That was so rude for me. I just wanted to throw that out there because, Carl, right before we get to the leadoff, do you understand, out of anybody, I think you should understand, is it not annoying as hell when other people try to speak for you or tell you how you're supposed to feel?
It's very irritating.
Like,
very. Because, how you going to tell me how am I supposed to feel, how I'm supposed to think? Now, if you give me your opinion on a certain situation, I'll understand.
You'll listen.
But to tell me how, you should do this, you should feel this way, I'm not going to listen to it because how are you going to tell me how I'm supposed to feel? How are you going to tell me what I'm going through? Like, I don't understand it, never have, never will. I'm not going to try to understand it.
And that's exactly right. Civil rights are civil rights. And again, in the National Football League, they can do what they want to do. They can change their moniker. But if they think that they're actually going to be doing this because Native Americans find this racist, they're going to be sadly mistaken. But this is the other thing that's sad. So 5.4 million Americans were surveyed whether they thought the Redskins was a racist name. Now, these are non-Native Americans.
I was just about to ask.
Out of 5.4 million people who were surveyed that were non-Native Americans that just signed up to say it was whether it was racist or not, how many do you think said it was racist?
None.
80%.
Oh, wait on. I misread the question.
Sorry. What I'm saying is they asked 5,000, 5.4 million people answered an online survey.
There were none Native American.
That were not, yeah. They
Okay, see, I
they
got
had
the
to,
question mixed up
they
about
had to,
them.
like when they like it was like I'm white, black, Native American, other, whatever. They were non-Native American. 5.4 million non-Native Americans said that their response to the to this controversy was that they found that the Redskins was an offensive, racist name, and said yes.
So
Think about that.
in my opinion, why not
5.4
X?
But what I'm saying is 80% of 5.4 million people, and this is what I'm talking about. You have a group of people, and yes, we are the United States of America. We have the opportunity to vote and do everything. The majority does rule, but the majority is led by, a participatory majority. That is a great thing. But again, we always look out for the minorities. We always look out for the smaller groups. That's at least what, America's supposed to be about. And it always drives me crazy how it is that they don't even get the opportunity sometimes. And this is what I'm talking about, is like the people who went on the Trail of Tears, the first people who were diseased with Roanoke back in the day. And most people, if you talk about them, they think all the land was just Mexican land. They don't even think of it being Native American land. Do you see what I mean by that? And there is a difference in culture. There is a difference in people, but it's being blinded and it's being lost. And it is sad. And I don't know, I spent maybe probably too much time on it, but dadgummit, man. Just listening to it, reading people's stuff on Twitter, and just looking at, the 20-year-old kid who read a book, I guess. And yes, you see the stuff that's going on with George Floyd, but to compare what's happening in 2020 to what happened when this country was taken over, and damn, these people feel like they're being erased completely, and they're just hell. Like he said, the Redskins, nation's capital, biggest game. You take that from us. Change the names to whatever. He said something, I think Scorpions in here. I kind of laughed. He's like, who's going to talk about them? But anyway, I could do this all damn day. Hit me at 67129. Thank goodness I got Evie Van Pelt at 1:30. I got the Coons at 2 o'clock. I got my good people going with Hardwood because it feels so damn good. But it's time for the leadoff. Ooh, you got your own style. I like it. So what you got for me?
Okay, so with these next 8 games, where do you see the Grizzlies ending?
Ooh, in the next 8 games?
Yes, you need me to
see,
tell you
this
the
is the schedule. That's perfect. No. I know the schedule, but this is the one schedule that I want to ask you before I answer this question, and I will answer the question. But you know what their lead is, correct? 3.5.
Yeah.
Well, over the team that I'm very, very scared, and that's called the Pelicans. Pelicans have the easiest schedule. They open up against the Jazz. They get the Clippers. Then they play the Grizzlies on August 3rd. Kings, Wizards, Spurs, Kings, Magic. Easiest strength of schedule remaining per BPI, okay? Looks easy as can be. Did you see Zion yesterday?
I kind of caught some of them outside before the show started, but I didn't really get a chance to just hear exactly what he said. I just know he said he's ready to go. Like, he's ready to go.
I'll tell you one thing. I think to make it, I think you have to go 4-4 minimum. I think 5-3 you're in. What do you think?
If possible, go 8-0.
I would like that too, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Pelicans remaining schedule, even with the lead, but the way Zion looked, he looked like a beast, did he not?
He really did.
He looked like he was ready to go. And look at this weak schedule, man. Magic, Kings, Spurs, Wizards, Kings. They do play the Grizzlies. Clippers, Jazz. That Grizzlies on August 3rd.
I was about to say it's a back-to-back for the Grizzlies. I'm looking at the Grizzlies schedule now.
August 3rd, Grizzlies, Pelicans. That could be the series. You know what I'm saying? But Grizzlies win that jaunt. And remember one thing, Grizzlies are minus 15 to win the 8th spot. Pelicans are still plus 330. Do you want to know the weird thing? I looked this up today. I almost fell over and laughed. I couldn't believe this. So, you have to lay money for the Grizzlies to be the 8th seed, correct? This is going to mess your mind up. But to win the 2020 championships, the Pelicans have a better, the Pelicans are 50-1. The Grizzlies are 60-1. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Isn't that messed up?
It really is.
Yeah, Pelicans 50-1. Grizzlies 60-1. Nuggets 18-1. Raptors 17-1. Celtics 15-1. Rockets 12-1. Clippers 13-4. Bucks 11-4. And the Lakers 9-5.
All right, so my second question is, where do you see the Grizzlies in the near future after this season? Once they get a full season, everything, hopefully everybody keeps being healthy. Yeah, so where do you see them in the near future?
I see this as just basically we're watching a taste of the future, to be honest with you. As we sit here and get ready the 4th of July, we're praying for some basketball. Look at Ja Morant. Everybody's talking about Zion.
He's also gained 12 pounds of muscle.
That's what I'm just saying. Look at Zion. I mean, listen, Zion's doing his thing. Yeah, Zion's going to be Zion. Ja Morant has different moves, shoots different, has a different feel for the game. And the one thing I can tell you, at the end of the ball game, when people win the last 2 damn minutes, guess when you're going to want it? You're going to want it in whose hand? Ja's over Zion's, in my personal opinion. The young kid is growing. We saw what Mike Conley and how long it took him to get to what he was. Ja is on more of a rocket trajectory.
Right.
And the fact that he gets a break in the season, I expect him to come back even better than he was when he started his rookie year, which was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, he's going to come out and he's going to ball. It's
one game that stands out to me that lets me know Ja Morant is ready for the big stage. And that was the game in Memphis against Kyrie.
He just destroyed him.
He really did. He sent the game in overtime. He got the game saving block
pretty.
on Kyrie Irving, which is not easy at all. And he did that as a rookie.
That was unbelievable. By the way, MLB, just a quick announcement, canceled the All-Star game for the first time since 1945. Wow. 2020 is a pain in the keister, isn't it?
It really is. You ready for the third question?
I'm ready.
Third question is, will you be watching the second bubble in Chicago for the teams that was uninvited?
Nope.
Good. Was it, what's Zach?
Why?
Larry Nance Jr.
Why?
He tweeted out, you ready for Cavs versus
No.
Part 4?
Like this hidden onion?
Like, what is it for?
I mean, if this is for social justice or something, like, I love you and everything, that's kind, but who's watching that basketball?
I'd watch
the Big Three. I'm sorry. The Big Three's canceled. But you see what I'm trying to say is, listen,
the TBT tournament's going on.
The TBT isn't even hitting great numbers. I mean, they're hitting good numbers locally, yes, at the places. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I'm not invested in the TBT. I'm not dying for it. Do you know what I'm dying for? The bubble. I'm dying to see Giannis, LeBron, AD, Kawhi. You know who I want to see? The killers of the league. I hate to say it, but everybody, at least for me, maybe not everybody, it's a star-driven world, and the NBA out of all leagues is so star-driven, it's not even funny. They are going to have all the damn focus. And if this thing goes off, the NBA is going to make so much deadgum money during this little COVID-19, they're going to shock them deadgum selves. The ratings, they're not going to be like they were before before COVID. They're going to be like the NFL is going to look at them and going, damn, they getting our numbers. I'm telling you, it's going to be dope. Get ready to watch some NBA, but get ready to talk some Ole Miss football, because I'm talking with, that's right, the Rebel Walk publisher, Miss Evie Van Pelt, coming up next on Sports 56. Never forget my friend Chad Gatlin at MemphisFarmers.com, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Did you see President Trump's latest tweet? He says the new book Blitz is hot and urges you to read it. Trump calls David Horowitz a great author. Get Blitz. It's already a #1 Amazon bestseller. In Blitz, David Horowitz warns about Antifa and makes stunning predictions about Trump in the coming months. They will shock you. Blitz also reveals the secret billionaires out to stop Trump. Mike Huckabee says if every American reads this book, Trump will win. Mark Levin says Blitz is indispensable. Get Blitz at bookstores or check out the free offer from Newsmax and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX or go to blitz411.com. Blitz411.com. And don't forget to see David Horowitz on Newsmax TV all this week. Newsmax is America's fastest-growing cable channel. Now on DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Spectrum, Optimum, Cox, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, Mediacom, WOW, and more. Just check your cable guide. And get Blitz today at bookstores or 800-NEWSMAX.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I can tell you people, you ain't going to find the All-Star Game. That's right. First time the All-Star Game's been canceled since 1945. That's right. MLB has canceled their All-Star Game. Yes, we do have baseball going, but people are saying, like Derek Jeter, very upset. I hope everybody's seen this. Did you hear what he said? Oh, it was disappointing. It was embarrassing at this. The back and forth, there is no trust between the owners and players. It's the best way to put it, man. Like Derek Jeter, come on, man, DJ. And you're running the Florida. You know who you're running, right? Florida, brother. Like the Marlins. Derek Jeter. Those days where you had Derek Jeter, like you did have the best job ever. But now what you're doing is you are running baseball, and you're trying to run a team that's not any good. And you have Hannah, who is an absolute wonderful angel. But I will tell you, I don't think coming out, putting in the public, talking about how it was disappointing, it was embarrassing, talking about what everybody's saying, the back and forth between the owners, the management and the players, the MLB, Players Association, and Major League Baseball. I don't know if you're trying to be kind and point out that, hey, young kids, you have the strongest dead gum union in baseball. 2022 is crucial. Don't let it divide. Or if he was trying to put something in between, because you know what? Derek Jeter's the dude who put the ball on the bed and bounced. He's like the smoothest man on planet Earth. So, and don't forget, he made the diving catch into the stands. He got the ball that he got and threw it to home plate. Derek Jeter, he's a stud. He might not be a stud right now where he's running things, but he is Derek Jeter. And I do have to say, Mike Trout coming out with his concerns, all kinds of stuff going on with baseball, and the fact that they have canceled the All-Star Game for the first time since 1945 makes sense, but it has happened. I hope we get 60 games in 66 days, and I pray that in October we have playoff baseball because there's nothing like it. Now, there's also nothing like football. There's nothing like the Rebel Walk. And there's nothing like my good friend, Miss Evie Van Pelt, who joins us on Sports 56 Happy Hour. Miss Van Pelt, how's life?
Hey, life is great, and it's even better that I'm here with you today.
Thank you,
you.
man, Evie. I love that. I appreciate you joining me today, and I really, really am excited. And I know that it's a weird time in the country. We have COVID-19 going on. We have civil unrest. We have a whole lot of stuff going on. And you had a Starkville guy in Kylan Hill who got basically Mike Leach, popping Lane Kiffin's mask, and they actually got legislature passed before the season. What do you think about these young people, and are they figuring out realistically how much power they control?
I think they are actually, but I think it's really interesting. As you mentioned, the state of Mississippi officially has changed its flag from the flag with the Confederate battle emblem on it. So that's a good thing. But I believe 46 or 47, somewhere around there, coaches from every one of the schools in Mississippi, not just Ole Miss and Mississippi State, showed up and addressed the legislature about changing the flag and support of changing it. And I think that it was interesting to me that it seems like they're really, they've got the support of their players. And I'm really not sure without, some of the athletes taking a stand and then literally all the coaches and administrators across the board going along with them. I'm really not sure that it would have changed.
I'm with you. In all honesty, I don't think, and two guys in particular, Lane Kiffin and, of course, Coach Mike Leach, two different characters, but two bigger-in-life men, both being down there, both being somewhat friendly, and then Kylan Hill and basically his demands, and it also coming on the heels of the Van Gundy and Chuba Hubbard situation. It seemed almost like a wave of perfect timing, and it actually, at least from where I stand from, and I look at I would think that the state of Mississippi had to take a little bit of national pride at this time to say, hey, you know what? We realized it, we corrected it, and we are making the stride forward. And I don't know. I thought it was pretty impressive.
I think so too, and I think that one thing I've found, I've been on a few shows, and folks didn't realize that Ole Miss and Mississippi State, neither one of them have flown the state flag for a number of years. I think
what was it, 97 for Ole Miss?
No, actually, I think it was 2015, maybe for Ole Miss. And
the state flag. I was going to say the Confederate flag. Yeah, the Confederate flag they outlawed in 97.
Yeah,
I believe.
That you're right about that. I was thinking, wow, has it been that long? But the state flag, yes, Ole Miss hasn't flown it since 2015. So, I think they took a stand on it, but then, with everything that's been going on in society, and then, let's not forget that the NCAA and the SEC said, hold on, my friends, dear state of Mississippi, we're not going to let you have any championship events or no baseball, regionals or supers at Swayze or at Dudy Noble. And so I don't think that, there's some that think, oh, well, that's why they did it. Well, again, I don't want to lose sight of the fact
I don't
that
think
both
that's why they did it. I actually think they
Me
did
neither.
it from honest to goodness, actually from their from the heart. But I also want to remind everybody, follow Evie at Ole Miss Evie. It's very simple, and don't forget, how can you not remember at the Rebel Walk? It's just at the Rebel Walk. It's very simple. Now,
Thank you.
publisher of the Rebel Walk, my good friend Evie. We've talked about how these athletes have found power. We've talked about how there's been change. The one thing though that does I'm already sad about is COVID-19 has caused such a travesty with college basketball. We mentioned March Madness. We've missed also the baseball season. And was this Mike's best? I mean, could this maybe have been one of Mike's best teams ever?
Oh, I think so.
Me
I mean, I
too.
think it's just, I know there were a couple of maybe D1 Baseball and Baseball America who came out with their, top seeds for Omaha. And it's just like, oh, a nice, a dagger in my heart. I think one of them had Ole Miss seated number 1, and one of them had Ole Miss
Yes.
seated number 6. And it's just like, oh, what a time, huh? But definitely, I think the Rebels just had, I've been watching them for a long time, and I just felt like, and I think anyone that's kind of associated with the program, fans, etc., there was just something special about this team. I think there was a chemistry about it, and sometimes I think you just have to have a little luck, a little chemistry, certainly the skill, but they just seemed to kind of have that it factor, and they were fun to watch while it lasted. So, now Tyler Keenan and Anthony Servideo, third base and short respectively, have been drafted.
Yes,
so they won't
you already beat me to it. That's what I was going to say. Is a lot of this is coming back, but you know what? In a 5-round draft, I mean, they dropped 35 rounds off of this draft. You know what I mean? That is insane when you think about how many jobs. And of course, who got plucked? A couple dudes from Ole Miss like every single dead gum year, and that's going to be hard to replace, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be really hard to replace. And I know people are already, of course, fans of the team and interested parties and sports writers are already, well, who are they going to have it short? Who are they going to have it third? And, I have no doubt that Mike, he has just
now he can recruit
terrific
like a
pool.
mama.
Right. And he's got a couple, that I think that some folks are thinking could end up. There's a true freshman from California, Jacob Gonzalez. He's listed as a shortstop. He may go over to replace Keenan. He's
Keenan's gone, and so is Severino.
Servideo. Yeah.
See, I never got to see him really. They would have been Anthony and Tyler would have been, because that's how I know him by the first name. That's how I think of him. They would have been so big in the Southeastern Conference this year. The regionals, who knows what could have happened if they got through the regionals and made it to the College World Series. They could have been on such a huge stage, but to both be picked up and to think about this, third and fourth rounds in only a 5-round selection, that personally, in my opinion, just shows that Mike's got it going. But this is what I was going to ask you before we get going, because I got to get to football.
Okay.
How the heck, you lose just 2, but I know Mike's going to recruit a few more. I know a couple people who already committed.
Right.
You have, they're going to have a stacked team next year, and it seems like a lot of teams are going to have stacked teams. Are the NCAA, have you heard anything about them expanding the baseball rosters, giving more money to the scholarships? Because, most baseball players only get a quarter. Hell, if you're really good, you get a half, So have you heard anything about this at all, Evie? Because I'm getting no word at all.
Well, I think that they have approved. I could be wrong. The expanding of the roster, but I have not heard anything about.
Well, that's good.
The money for scholarships. So,
if they at least expand the roster, you don't kill a dream.
Right. I think that you end up. It is going to be interesting, though, because, like you say, hardly. I don't know if baseball play. Well, maybe Vandy. I don't know. People who get full scholarships in baseball, and so. But for the rest of us out there, we have to make do with partial scholarships for our baseball players. So expanding the roster, I literally have no idea what that's going to look like. I've been just trying to be excited about the fact that, we return our entire starting rotation of Nikhazy, Hoagland, and Derek Diamond. What a name. And then just some key players out there. Hayden Dunhurst is just going to be really fun to watch at catcher. He threw so many people out, and that was exciting. But, it's like you say, who knows in this new COVID world what we're going to see. It's like we're little pinballs just bouncing back and forth, waiting for the next hit.
Now, I'm kind of curious. Are you going to be because Mariners? They're both starving, the Orioles and the Mariners. When you saw the fact that they both got picked up by those organizations, were you kind of almost a little bit damn?
Yeah, I kind of was.
I was
You know,
too.
now I do have Gray Kessinger in the Astros organization.
That's right.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
was that
I'm over
last
here in
year?
Texas, and
So that's a good one.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, and Ole Miss has had, you know, they've had some really good shortstops, and Errol Robinson was drafted before Kessinger was, and then Cervidio has continued the tradition there. So, but yeah, I you know, those wouldn't have been my choice, but I'm like you know, to be drafted in a 5-round
To
draft,
be
that
drafted
was
is
impressive.
amazing, but it was just like,
Right.
of course it would be Baltimore and Seattle, like two teams that we,
Right.
you know what I'm like, dadgummit, you know?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah,
that
dadgummit.
is like one of those things. Like your dream is to go play, and you go to the Ole Miss, and you're an SEC ball player, and then your dream to get drafted, and you're like, yeah, I want to be a, and then you're like Baltimore Oriole or a
Yeah, well,
Seattle
I will
what?
tell you now for Anthony, his grandfather actually played for the Orioles.
What?
And yes,
I didn't
he
know
did. His
that.
grandfather, yes, he did.
Oh,
His
that is kind of
grandfather,
nice.
yes, his grandfather had a 1966 World Series ring. There's a photo of Anthony sitting in his grandfather's lap with him showing him his World Series title ring. So that's just impressive to me. I mean, so I think that you're right. I mean, there's probably a lot of other teams maybe he might have thought about, but I mean, how special! And the photo of that is really, really cool. I'm going to retweet that, so if anybody wants to see it, they can see it at Ole Miss Evie. But anyway, I think that's very special
Now,
for him.
no,
And I
that is
think his grandfather
special.
died when he was little.
Oh.
So I think, yeah. So he's not
Wow.
still alive. I think he was maybe just 2 or 3 when he passed. So anyway, that's a little aside.
No, that's why you bring somebody like you on from the Rebel Walk, Evie Van Pelt, by the way, people, because those are the type of stories that make us all, at least that's why I love sports. I love these little stories. That's why right now, without sports, we fell in love with The Last Dance. And I watched on Father's
Yeah.
Day the Manning on ESPN story probably for the 5th time.
Yeah.
The Book of Manning. It's so good,
Mhm.
all these documentaries are great because these little stories are absolutely fabulous. But I wonder, 2020, the story, are we going to get football? Evie, do you believe it
Ah.
or do you disbelieve it?
Gosh, you know, somebody asked me that the other day, and there are all these polls, and I'm just in the I don't know category. I mean, I think
I'm
that
with you.
I mean, I want there to be. I want the
do
players
too.
to be safe, but I want there to
do
be.
too.
You know, it's just it's so hard to answer. I think that it would be very hard to imagine no football season at all, and I think that from a fiscal standpoint, I think a lot of schools could be in trouble if they don't have
Well,
some
that
sort of a
is
season.
something. Oh, Evie, you hit on something which makes me angry. I'm going to
Mhm.
tell you something. For some reason, this ticks me off more than anything. Oh, you just hit on a nerve. I used to work for the university for almost a decade,
Oh.
and we never got any raises. But salaries went up and blah blah blah, and
Mhm.
they kept building buildings, and they'd get free
Right.
land, and you get grants, but tuition would go up 9% a year. I have children.
Yeah.
I didn't understand with this, and then they're spending all this money. They got to spend all this money each. They put each department in his own money making self. And I'm sitting here going, wait a second. You're sitting on all these endowments. Like you look at like the top endowments in the United States, like 100 and out of the top 100 endowments in the country, they're either universities or hedge funds.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know what I
Wow,
mean?
I didn't know
Like,
that.
yeah,
Right,
Harvard's up there
right.
with like, Goldman Sachs and stuff, which is kind of
Yeah,
messed up. So I'm
that is
like,
very messed up.
you look at the way they've used their money, and then they find, you run into one year, instead of them being able to take care of, quote, the student athlete, the
Right.
student, they're ready to go ahead. I've had from the far one side, Jay Greason from the Times Free Press write about what he called herd immunization. Let's give every
Right,
single,
right.
I mean, literally said, let's give every player in the United States that plays college football, put them in a 2-week quarantine, have a doctor go in them and give every single one of them coronavirus, and then we'll have herd immunization, and then we can have football in the fall. And I'm going,
Well, I'm
holy
guessing he's not a
bleep.
medical doctor.
No, he's
Yeah,
definitely,
I'm
he's
guessing
definitely
he's
not.
not a medical doctor because they don't even, honestly, here's the crazy thing. They don't even know yet. I mean, I've read all about the
year
herd
out.
immunity. They don't know if you can't get it. They don't
A
even
second
know
time.
that, exactly. And, again, you may have seen on Twitter, I was keeping up with my friend David Johnson at the Ole Miss Spirit, a sports
Yep.
writer, and he got corona, and he was on life support for 21
Which was
days, and the
scary as
doctors wanted to
hell.
pull the plug. And so it's like, are young people less likely to end up like that? Probably, but there's mutations in this thing. I just don't think, put it this way, if my kid were playing college football, and my daughter played college volleyball at Ole Miss, but if my kid were playing football or any sport, I would definitely be on the opposing side of let's give them all coronavirus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that
So,
herd mentality is insane. And that's what I was talking
Yeah.
about before you came on, this huge pendulum that keeps swinging. We go from one extreme to the other. So you got like, hey, let's do a herd mentality. All the way to the other side is, hey, we're going to just cancel the season. You have some commissioners who want to have 100%. Now they're to 50%. Some want to have 20%. Some are telling people, buy your season tickets now because we're not going to sell games tickets. We're only going to sell season tickets. And, it's just so
it's just all over.
confusing. It's all over. And I have to say, if I'm a player right now, I am going, what the bleep? But if I'm also a fan,
Me too.
I know as a media member, I am lost as all get out. Like from each press release I get each day, like I open up my email and I'm like, damn, I'm more confused than I was yesterday.
Right. And do you, and then you look at it this way. You think about, okay, we've already got the question of, okay, there would be athletes on the field. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to be wearing a mask out there.
Nope.
That's not how that's going to work. So I'm not really sure I want to sit in a crowded press box. I mean, I'm not
Me neither.
I'm not a crazy.
Hey, I'm at
fearful
work,
person,
but I'm not a crazy person either. But I love you, Evie. But I don't know if we need to be all hanging out like me, you, Mr. Norsworthy.
No, that's
We
right.
got, we
Well,
got
I
David
hang out with
Kellum.
you guys.
Well, we got kids like me and Kellum and Norsworthy. We're all just hanging together. I mean, we would love it, but I don't know if it would be the smartest thing, is what we're all trying to
it's
say.
just no. And I
then to
just
put
like
our
you say,
children on the field,
Right.
like where they're that close. Like there's no huddle I've ever seen that was 6 feet apart.
No, and I'm not sure any quarterback ever hollered out the signals with a mask on, and I don't know. I just don't know what it's going to look like, and I guess people a lot smarter than me are going to have to figure it out. But
You know what?
some conferences, like some SEC sources of mine, say it's more likely that we would have just conference games only.
Wow.
Not
going
non-conference
playing
opponents.
anybody else, but just in conference.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
tell you what, I've been really looking forward to Ole Miss and Baylor opening the season
I
in
know
our
what
new
you
stadium.
mean.
But again, it's all a balance. I mean, I don't want anything to happen to any of the players either. So I just have to trust that the powers that be will all do the right thing.
And that's kind of the balance right now, isn't it? It's like with what
Mhm.
we want and what is actually right. And none of us
Right.
want anything wrong. All of us want to walk out of the house, go to a bar, eat our lunch, not wear a
Right.
mask, think about like happy
But-
times. I want to go home on a
Mhm.
Friday night and not watch. It was like Rookie of the Year last week, and now it's another Angels in the outfield or something. Like the Saturday
Right.
night, the Friday night, like for ESPN and the MLB Network, which are just habits of mine. I just push the number for some reason. I can't help it. Even it's like 6 months in, and we haven't had sports. It feels like. And I just basically cry, and I'm like, not cry, but I'm like, I am not watching
Right.
a 6-year-old kid on a TV show who can supposedly throw 90 miles an hour. I want sports now. If we want
Right,
sports,
right.
I think we have to do the right thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm gonna listen to the doctors and try my best to pray that we get football in the fall. Evie, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You just really made my whole week. So thank you for that. I
Well,
appreciate it.
you have a happy 4th of July. Make sure you don't watch Nathan's hot dog eating contest because you won't be able to eat tomorrow if you do because it makes me disgusted
I will.
every year. I watched it one
Okay.
year. I watched it one year. The guy who does like
Uh-huh.
the announcing is great, but once they start eating, change the channel. But this is Evie
Oh,
Van Pelt.
okay.
Everybody give her a follow at Ole Miss Evie and make sure you check out at the Rebel Walk. At the Rebel Walk. She is awesome. They are awesome. Evie, we'll talk. We'll definitely do this more often.
Okay. Thank you so much. I look forward to it. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you too. That's my friend Evie Van Pelt. We'll be back in 2 shakes. Never forget Chad Gallon at MemphisFarmers.com on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Blood and plasma donations are more important than ever. People all around the world still depend on the medicine your plasma helps make. That's why Interstate Blood Bank and Plasma Biological Services are open and will remain open for our donors. The United States government has declared blood and plasma donation as a critical infrastructure industry. That means healthy donors are allowed to travel to and from donation centers regardless of any stay-at-home mandates in your area. We need you to keep donating so that we can continue to manufacture these life-saving medicines. We understand that you may be concerned about COVID-19. The health and safety of our donors and our employees remain a top priority. To limit the spread of the virus, we're taking additional measures to ensure our centers are safe and clean. Donating now is more important than ever, but please do not come to the center to donate if you are not feeling well or have a sore throat, fever, cough, or shortness of breath. We are doing our part so that you can do yours. Come donate today at one of our IBBI or PBS locations across the Memphis area.
For streaming, creating, gaming, and more, power your passions for less during Dell's exceptional cyber savings event. Enjoy up to $400 off stunning laptops like the XPS, along with high-performance desktops and next-level Alienware systems, redefining what's possible with 10th Gen Intel Core processors. Shop special prices on top brand electronics and accessories, plus enjoy free shipping on everything. Don't forget to ask for Intel when you call 800-BY-DELL. That's 800-BY-DELL.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
I am your pusher man. Welcome back in a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I am Johnny Radio. Y'all know me, John Harden. Follow me on Twitter at Johnny_radio. My man Carl Morris, what?
Carl Morris Jr. 1.
That's right, Carl Morris Jr. 1. And guess what? Alex Kuhn and Gabe Kuhn are about to join us. But before they are, I've got to remind y'all, we just had Evie Van Pelt. Thank you so much from the Rebel Walk. That was fun. We talked everything from the flag to baseball to football, Kiffin, the season. Man, it'd be fun to play Baylor, but what's going to happen with SEC, we'll have to see. But I have a little bit of other football news for you. I know Gabe is coming on. They will mention this, I'm sure. But you know, Kansas, they've hauled workouts. Why? They've now got an increased virus case. So it feels like the Big 12 is having more trouble than anybody. We've had Kansas, Kansas State, Texas, Texas Tech. You have Lincoln Riley, who's like, I'd prefer to play in the spring. I mean, he says, I'd prefer to play in the fall, but he has this huge but. And if you listen, he does this whole thing about how spring football is very doable. Do you know what I mean by that? That's kind of like me saying, I'd marry you, but you'd have to guarantee that we wouldn't have a prenup and I get all $1 billion when you die. You see what I'm saying?
Something like,
it's like
I'd marry you, but
like,
I want your
but
sister.
if you don't give me that $1 billion, I will not marry you. I'm just saying, like, maybe I'm wrong. We've also found out that Gundy is so grateful to have a damn job that he's agreed to take $1 million pay cut. Like, y'all think I'm kidding, right? Y'all know Oklahoma State coach Mullet Man Mike Gundy. He is taking a $1 million pay cut because they did a review where I want to read this to you. He says, they did a review basically to find out, because I want to make sure I get this right. Oklahoma's athletic director Chad Weiberg said Mike Gundy's players found out that he's not a racist, but he lacks supporting them. He's not there for them. After the findings, and he's not a racist, he's just a crappy person, basically, from the findings. That's what they say, he's not a racist. Now, he says, I'm humble, I'm remorseful, and I have agreed to take a $1 million pay cut to amend my mistakes. The changes were offered up by me, Mike Gundy. By the way, I'm going to add to this. I'm 40. I can take it. But this is back to him. And I commend him. And this is him saying, I commend him for that. What? What are you talking about? Talking about Chuba Hubbard? And then he's talking about, I think it's really, demonstrates my lack of being committed to this team. But now I'm committed to the team and committed to being a better coach going forward. Well, damn, son, did you know you made like $4 or $5 million a year for a long damn time? Why weren't you committed then? We'll talk to Alex and Gabe Kuhn on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know and love. With 4 locations to serve you, from downtown, midtown, and East Memphis, you can order your favorite barbecue and enjoy everything on the menu in the comfort of your own home. Call your nearest Central Barbecue location for more information on delivery and to-go options today.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Fiveash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you. Napa know-how.
At Napa, we've stopped thinking outside the box. Instead, we're thinking inside the bucket. The $2.99 Napa bucket, to be exact. When you fill those bad boys with auto parts, you can get 20% off 3 or more items that fit inside. No overthinking required. Just get your bucket, fill it up, and save 20%. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 7/31/20.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
If you like pina colada.
AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here. Ladies and gentlemen. And now?
Now, the only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
Yo, 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 do y'all realize it's Sports 56 Happy Hour? And guess what? It is on a Friday. Doesn't it feel good, y'all? I'm going to tell you a little secret. Before I get into everything, I'm going to have Alex Coon. I'm going to have Gabe Coon. By the way, you got all their numbers, right? Okay, I'm looking at you over there worried. I can see that. I can see it on your face. I love watching somebody panic. Don't worry. I can talk. I can talk for a long time, buddy. But Alex and Gabe Coon, they're about to join us. And I, again, want to explain something. Now, we are in a Friday. We are going to enjoy life. Now, with July 4th coming up tomorrow, I'm going to ask you the truth. We don't have sports. Are y'all really at 11 o'clock going to watch Joey Chestnut defend his wiener eating contest at 11 o'clock? Because if I watch that tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I will probably die. They're also doing it indoor for some reason, and they say they're doing it in a bubble like basketball, which, by the way, is also disgusting. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock, if you want to get sick or if maybe you have a bulimia problem and you want to help throw up, here you go. ESPN's got you. It is Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and it's coming to you tomorrow. Yeah, July 4th, no joke. Now, do I have Gabe or Alex?
What?
Oh, I got my buddy Gabe.
What's happening, man?
Dude, how's life treating you?
Man, fantastic. Is Carl holding it down?
Dude, he's holding on the fort like a mom. Man, dude, I gotta give Carl some props. He's been tearing it up. Man. He's been doing good. In fact, they actually offered him a job, and I was like, "No, Gabe's coming back."
Oh my God, Carl, keep it up, man.
I'm just playing, man. He's got the job.
So you're gonna be watching the hot dog eating contest?
Hell no, Gabe. You know I love you and everything, but you know I have a weak stomach, man. That stuff makes me disgusted. If he says he's gonna beat the 77 wieners in whatever 10 minutes,
why does he have to use the term wieners?
Dude, he did it again.
The one thing.
Well, you know what? I think that they have a thing. Like, dude, he's got this whole thing. He's like, I'm gonna pound wieners, and then he's like, I'm taking 77 wieners, and I'm like, dude, you like every time I see you speak, you are more repulsive. And the weird thing is, like the Toady kid, like he was at the place downtown. Like he's like 5 feet tall. He's little. He's kind of respectful. Good luck, Matt Toady or whatever. The Nathan's hot dog champion. What's his name? The disgusting man.
Joey Chestnut.
Ugh, Joey Chestnut. He is taking on this like I am the evil empire, and I'm the most repulsive person on planet Earth. Don't you think so?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, like, you know, he's a champion. I have to respect any guy who can put down 70 hot dogs. I'm sorry. That's like, I don't even know. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive. I got to say that's impressive, but I will ask you this. That is impressive. Now, I have to ask you something important. It's about college basketball, college football, and college sports, basically. We've had college basketball completely ripped from us. Who knows what's going to happen next season? They're going to do football first. But Gundy's given $1 million because basically he gave up $1 million because they didn't find he was a racist. They just found out it was basically, and here's like word verbatim.
That he didn't create relationships with his players.
Okay, so can I translate it? I'm a crappy coach.
Yeah. It translated all these recruiting trips. I'm lying.
Yeah,
to
I'm
the parents
full
about
of
how much I care about their kid.
Dude, he even said, by the way, did you know Holder came out and said that 20 players wanted to come out and basically blast him out of the world until he gave back that $1 million? And for some reason, some reason, him giving up $1 million and at least them coming out and saying that he's a horrible person, they're not going to come out and completely blast him. So I got to say one thing. Alfred Williams, who is a former star linebacker, at Colorado, he told the Oklahoman basically about how horrible Gundy was and that he, used basically the N-word at him.
Well, you don't make the thing is you don't make anything up like that.
No,
you know what I
makes
mean?
that
Like
up.
you don't make that up. That's a very strong indictment. That's a strong indictment.
Did
you know
they
what
come
I mean?
out?
Like
by the way, have you seen where they came out and said that indictment? Because this is where I have not seen.
And it was more than Alfred
here's what I was
Williams.
going to
It was
say.
like the whole Colorado team.
The whole Colorado team. But here's where I have not seen one thing even holder. Have you seen one person can't come out and say Gundy didn't say it? Because I haven't.
No.
I've heard him.
Well,
I've
Gundy
heard
said
this.
it at the time.
I'm humble.
Gundy said he didn't
now
say it at the time.
Now he says this. I'm humbled because of this finding, and I have some growing to do. Come on, man.
Oh, my gosh.
And here's $1 million. You can kiss my keisters. That's all I want to say. So, anyway, I got to bring in your brother, by the way. Alex, how's life, my friend?
Alex.
Not too bad. How you doing, John?
Dude, I am doing good. I got my brother Gabe in St. Louis. I got you God knows where. And it's so awesome.
St. Louis, man.
Friday.
Are
you all together?
Yeah, we're all together.
Okay, so hold on. First and foremost, did you get your present, Alex?
No, I didn't.
Come on, man.
Did I bring that up?
Come on, man. I
Okay.
gave him a present.
Was it a good one at least?
It was, of course, Carl. What do you think I'd give out that gift?
Yeah, it was great. Still don't know what it is, but
Hey, we're gonna do this thing in radio where we're gonna pretend that you got something great, and Santa's real.
And if you say it on the radio, it's true. So
Now, hold on. Now that I got Alex, I want to bring Alex into this. I had Evie Van Pelt on a little bit earlier from the Rebel Walk, and she's very connected to Ole Miss, and she was basically talking about COVID-19, the flag, all that stuff. You look around the country, you see what the Pac-12 has come out and said. Their commissioners basically. What did I tell you before you left? Who would be the first team that bails?
First team?
Conference. I apologize.
Pac-12, because of how stringent they are on basically the left coast, and the fact that Arizona is basically under permanent quarantine at the moment. Like, did you see they had 4,300? 4,000.
Yeah,
new
just
cases
yesterday.
today.
Yeah, just yesterday.
I mean, golly, man! Like that state, you need to have foresight in that situation. I'm sorry.
Well, I can already basically say it looks like they're going to bounce. If they bounce, I talked with Evie. She's basically saying that the SEC is already talking. She didn't come out and say I'm reporting it. She just is like, hey, they're talking about doing an only SEC conference. Come on now. Listen, I know that we're talking about doing all these listen, if the Pac-12 bows out, you got Riley Ferguson who's like, hey, I'd like to play in the fall, but can we do it in the spring? You got Mike Gundy who's like, I'm going to give up $1 million just to keep my job. You got Kansas who's not even going to work out anymore because they've already given up 12 players. Kansas State's already had an outbreak. Texas has had an outbreak. You look at the ACC, they've been waiting all week for the Pac-12. Before the end of the day, you watch. It's going to drop around 5 o'clock. We're going to we're going to push things back or something. You watch. I'm telling you, man, everybody was waiting for the Pac-12 commissioner to at least kind of give an edge that, hey, I'm a little bit scared. Do you agree or disagree with me?
yeah, this was the time, right? Like this was the sort of the drop dead date where we're getting close to we're at the beginning of July. People said we need to have some sort of idea of what we're going to do.
Arizona was supposed to start their workouts on the 6th.
Yep.
And then
if that doesn't tell you sort of what people have been thinking, like that, I mean, that's obvious. Is the fact they thought they were going to come back here in 3 days, and their whole gyms are closed down. Everything's closed down in Arizona. It's hard to imagine what the Pac-12 is.
Look at the programs that are affected right now: Arizona, Arizona State, Texas, Texas Tech,
Kansas,
Houston,
Kansas State,
Kansas State, Clemson, Florida State, Miami. I mean, it's just hitting
Houston.
right now. And for those that are good right now that haven't had a high percentage, it's going to hit them eventually too. And that's why we're sitting here having this conversation about college football. And John, it's like we talked about with Lincoln Riley. It's exactly what you said. They get one real shot at this.
Dude,
And
when
if
Navy
there's
cancels a game, I know it's against Lafayette in September 12th,
Right.
but this is Navy. I can't think of anybody who has more information about COVID-19 than Navy.
And the Ivy League. The Ivy League keeps like.
Remember when the Ivy League canceled their entire spring season and everybody called them crazy?
Yep.
And then
everybody followed.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
a
They
week
were the first
later-
one to do it.
Like a week later, everybody else did it. So, yeah. We're in a spot right
look,
now
here's the
where-
thing. It's like, but college football is getting in some way, somehow. Some way, somehow, whether it's in 2021,
January?
however they have to do it, it's got to get. Athletic departments stand to lose too much, and I think
hear
we all
that.
know that.
So do
And
you
that's-
really
and
think
that's
that
where
we're
it's
going to have
got-
spring football?
I think
Does
it's a
right
serious
now,
possibility.
What
It's a
looks more
possibility.
realistic to you? Does it look like September we're kicking things off, or does it look like we can move this junt to the spring?
That's the $1 million question right now. That's the $1 million question to me because I think it has to happen. Like the athletics ecosystem, like relies on football so heavily that it
Well,
has
they've
to
put that
happen.
out in the USA Today. They put that out in the Forbes.
Again,
they put that out in
it
Bleacher
has
Report.
to happen. So the question becomes, what do you see more likely, the spring or coming up here? You know, they're probably going to have to delay the season, but do you still try to stick it into fall?
Here's my
That's the
question, though.
question.
Like, one of the biggest issues with them talking about moving to the spring would be that a lot of the players who would be high level first round picks wouldn't play. Like, you're worried about.
Yes,
Trevor
and I
Lawrence.
agree. I agree
Trevor
with that. It would
Lawrence
be
is
stupid
done,
to
in my
play.
opinion. I don't care what anybody
Right,
says. I
but,
forgot
like,
to bring this. Don't you think Trevor
why would
Lawrence
they-
just played his last football game?
Yeah, why would
I
he
don't
play in
know.
the fall?
Oh, please. He's
Yeah,
not
I
going
don't
to
know.
play back college football at all.
Why would he
Yeah.
play? You worry about getting hurt and worrying about catching the coronavirus, which
No
could have
doubt,
long
first
lasting
pick overall.
Dude, he's
On
he's
you, like,
number
you're gonna
one
be
no
the
matter
lock
what.
for number one. Why
The
would you do
only
that?
thing that he could do is if somehow he was hanging out too much with his girlfriend and had a Tua hip injury, which I just don't see this happening.
Well, didn't Tua just get paid like $25-30 million too? So.
Yeah,
Or
he's,
if- hey,
he
if-
still did good.
Hey, as long as Trevor Lawrence is not kicking ass at the intramural basketball games anymore, man, he's got to be careful.
That is true. He can also be saying horrible things, but now I don't know if you notice this. He's gotten very close. He's professional PR. Have you heard some of his like when he talks? This dude has definitely gone to like almost like a coaching school or a PR school.
He
or
sounds
he's
like Dabo,
studying.
doesn't he?
Yes, he sounds just like Dabo. Better though. God, he's good.
Yeah, like he's like what you create a number one draft pick on Madden. Like the entire package of everything, the skill set, and a guy who's the leader. Like you hear about this all the time, that you hear about leadership with quarterbacks, and you don't necessarily
John's big
have
into
to be a
leadership
guy
with quarterbacks.
That's right, buddy.
who's super vocal. But could you imagine if you're one of his teammates looking at him in the huddle, you feel like you're gonna score a touchdown every single time you have the football.
True.
Like, he's
That's
just that
the
kind of presence.
Yeah, and that's like the Patrick Mahomes presence. But speaking of people who have presence, MLB is something that I'm freaking out about. It's July. They're having their second spring training. They're not in a damn bubble. Mike Trout's having his first kid in August. He basically came out and said he is going to see what this COVID-19 result is. And if there basically is more than like 7-8% of the players who come back with this test, he said that he doesn't know if he's going to go play baseball this year. I was talking about Shohei Ohtani, Joe Madden, Mike Trout, and Pujols, and Anthony Rendon, and maybe in a shortened season they can go out and actually win one. And now I'm like, wait, if Mike Trout doesn't play in baseball, like what?
What is it worth it at that point?
Like, dude, are you kidding me? It's almost like hang it up because Aaron. Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me Aaron Judge is scared.
Again, we talk about this like they're playing. You talk about the NBA and the NHL. All they have to do is will through the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The MLB has to get through 60 games and then playoffs, extended playoffs.
And they have to travel to different cities.
You have to be as if you're a baseball fan, you got to be pessimistic at this point, based on the labor negotiations, based on what they're suggesting they do and traveling city to city. Like, you have to be pessimistic. It's hard to be optimistic with the current situation.
Dude, and if you listen to Buster Only, you're crying.
Yes, yeah. If you listen to Buster Only, you knew that the first night as soon as they announced it.
Have you guys heard how concerned like the NBA players are talking about or are about going into that bubble?
Yep.
About like you hear DeMar DeRozan talking about it, where you're confined to that space. Like that takes a psychological toll on anybody who's been social distancing and staying at home, or it doesn't matter how big of a space you have. Once you kind of stay in that spot for a month or 2 months or however long it is, it takes a psychological toll. Now imagine that in Major League Baseball, where you're traveling city to city, but still you're not allowed to go outside of your hotel room in all these cities.
Hell, you can't even sit in. They're talking about where they're only going to let like 10 people in the dugout and then like 10 people in the pitching thing, and they're going to have like people spread out down the outfield lines. Like, if you look at the MLB plan, it is bleeping hilarious, to be honest with you.
Well, you came in that one day, John, where you like listed every single rule they had.
I know.
It
took
the hell out 15 minutes, and it's just like I don't have much hope with the MLB now. The NBA and the NBA is interesting too, because Alex brought up the bubble. Like, we have seen one bubble tried so far, and it's the MLS, and we saw how that worked out with FC Dallas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, I know the NBA. Here's the thing, though. The NBA has more at their disposal. They could probably make a safer environment. They have those wristbands they can put on their wrist. So I can see where the NBA might be able to figure it out. But, it's
just so horrible for the players. Like, so horrible.
Yeah, psychologically, I can see what you mean.
If you have to be there for 3 months or something like that, or however long it is, think about every team that goes there, they're showing up next week, so they're going to have to at least be there for 3 weeks.
And
how do you feel about it being in Florida,
every team,
in Orange County?
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Why in the heck would you want to trust? Because this is the funniest thing that I heard today. Well, they're going to make sure that the employees stay away from the players so much that they're going to leave the food outside their door. And I'm like, well, they're still preparing the damn food and breathing on it while they're walking it up there. And then they go out, and after they get paid by the NBA, they go see some hot chick on the beach in Orange County, and then they come back the next day and give everybody COVID. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, we're so precautious. We're not even going to let the staff see the players because we're going to leave it at their door. Who the hell is preparing the food?
Yeah, and I guess that's the problem. I know that they talk about like the less contact you have with somebody is, as long as you're not having contact, it's rare that you get it. But all at the same time, like, what are the odds of it? There's good odds that somebody has it in that bubble, and if one person has it in that close confined bubble,
it's OV.
Exactly. It's like, as a lot of these experts are saying, it's like dropping a match into a gas can.
Ooh, that's a very, very scary. That's a good one though, but that's scary as hell.
And Adam Silver is not shying away from the fact that it could end. Like, you know what I mean? He's saying, hey, worst comes to worst, we would have to shut it back down. And we're open to doing that. He's already said it. It's just,
all right,
I think we have to get through it.
You have
to expect positive tests, though. You have to expect it. You have to.
Now, we all know about, everything that we're talking about that's important. And I wanted to get something to y'all because some people on the text line say I'm an absolute lunatic, or two-faced, I'm a hypocrite, I'm crazy. I might be crazy. That's fine. I always try to be fair, and I try to point this out.
It means you're doing something right, John.
Daniel Snyder, thank you, Alex. But Daniel Snyder is coming out, and basically they are going to change the name of the Redskins. It's not because he wanted to, but FedEx has put the pressure on. Again, I thought this was an amazing article by Heck, and I gave Teresa. She's the main person who checked this out. But there was Scott Clement, there was John Woodrow Cox, Teresa Vargas, all three of them, and then another Washington Post editor. I can't find the name. Anyway, the point is, they went out and they didn't just survey, but they surveyed 1,650 Native Americans in 16 different tribes, okay? And they didn't just do you like the Redskins or not like the Redskins? They gave them an opportunity. They gave 40 words, like, how do the Redskins make you feel? 68% out of 1,650 Native Americans put proud. And 90% said that they've never thought of as a racist term, redskin. That was 98%, I'm sorry. 90% of them wanted them to keep it, and it was 100% that said if they do change it, they wanted to at least make sure that it stayed Native American. Now, this is what one person said, and I just want to read it to y'all. And it was a Native American, and he says, he's 70 years old. He's part of the Cheyenne and, Holigi Muskogee tribe. I'm horrible. I wish I could read. I can't. But he says, I don't agree with them. And he's talking about those who trying to change the name. He said, I don't see the red man trying to change the name. He said this is the most powerful city in the entire world, and the most powerful game is named after at least us. At least it validates us in some way. He says, I'd hate to just have us erased entirely from the country. And I know exactly what he means by that. And this is what I wanted to ask you two, because I know both of y'all are very progressive, and y'all are not ignorant, and y'all care about your causes. But I wanted to ask this. Why is it that I understand why we're getting rid of all the Confederate flags, and why we're getting rid of the Mississippi state flag, and why we're not allowed, we're getting rid of these monuments. I understand that, because I've always said, how do you leave the Union and defect? And again, you don't go into Germany and drive down Nazi Avenue or Hitler Boulevard. It just doesn't happen. You don't see them waving a swastika on the deadgum Autobahn. That's just so I never understood that. But this is what
they still learn it though, and I think people need to grasp that. They still learn about it.
They do learn about it, but this is the one thing is we don't really teach much other than the Trail of Tears in this country. And and this is what I wanted to ask y'all is, if somebody goes out and they do this hard work and they survey 1,650 Native Americans and they feel this strongly, how come all of a sudden FedEx, who just has a bunch of money, and I'm a FedEx fan, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, why is it that I understand the social change that's going on with George Floyd, and we definitely need social justice because and again, it's our duty when laws become injustice, it's our duty to go out and change those laws. When injustice become law, it is your duty as an American to change it, period. But right now, if you have just a little few remaining people in this world and they take pride in something and you don't understand it, why are you still going to take it away from them?
I think the sad thing is what you just said, where you pointed to the gentleman who said, well, I'd rather have that than nothing at all. Like, can you think of a group of people have been more forgotten about and more sort of oppressed in this country than Native Americans? And that's sort of the problem in this situation. When you look at Chief Wahoo with the Cleveland Indians that was taken away from the baseball cap, when you look at the Redskins mascot, there's just such a lack of understanding about Native American people and what they go through and sort of what they live like in this country. And it almost presents them as like savages. It's just this very outdated view of who they are. And I think the important distinction that you made, and Tom Shad used to cover Memphis football for the Commercial Appeal, now works for USA Today as a sports writer, brought up an important point that Daniel Snyder was consulting a lot of people when he's discussing whether or not to change the name. He's going to do his own study, whatever the case is. He's going to talk to sponsors and the NFL and a lot of people, but he wasn't going to discuss it with leaders from the Native American community. And I think that hopefully this will bring some dialogue forward from Native Americans that we just don't ever hear from. Like, it is amazing how silenced that community is in our country.
They don't even
And
get
you
an
don't even-
opportunity to speak.
It's so true.
That's the whole thing that ticks me off. And then I wanted to throw this out, and I wanted y'all to hear this, because they only interviewed 1,650 Native Americans, and I told you 68% of them out of 40 words picked proud. 85% of them picked a word that was either was positive. But this is what's going to mess your head up. So they went to colleges, and they interviewed 5.4 million college students, okay, across the entire country. You want to know something that's going to mess your head up? How many people do you thought that they thought Redskins was racist?
Of college graduates?
College students.
Or just college students
18
in general?
to 39, it says. College students between
Is
18 and 39. 5.4
million
million people.
Right around 65%?
91%.
91, wow.
91% of just a bunch of young kids, 18 to 39 years old, or you mean there are young adults in there, but 18 to 39, who are not Native American, who don't understand, but they are saying, this is racist and wrong. We've got to, get rid of it. And again, like I said, why don't you just, instead of just making a decision for somebody else, again, that's why I think when, you open your ears and listen to other people talk, that's where you actually get educated.
Again, I think it just needs to open communication lines, though. People need to actually, like you said, Alex talked about with Daniel Snyder, they have to talk to Native American leaders and see how they feel about it.
And he's the worst person, to be honest, because he only cares about money.
There's a difference between Redskins and, Seminoles.
Yep.
With Florida State. Florida State
true.
went and got their blessing.
That's
Redskins is literally defining someone by their skin. And I'm not going to tell anyone how to feel.
Again, my grandfather would roll over in his grave because, I've always told you this, his favorite teams in the world were the Redskins, the Indians, anything that had to do with an Indian. He just deadgummit. He didn't give a damn. At least somebody was talking about Indians. Native Americans, didn't care if it was Cherokee or Chippewa or this tribe. He just wanted people to remember, and I wasn't going to read this because this is what's in the article, and it does sound almost racist, and I'm not trying to sound that way, but he just wanted to say, and this is the bottom part of that interview, it says that Native Americans were here in this country. This wasn't just Americans or Spanish or French stealing from Mexico. There was a Native American country here before all of y'all. And that's, again, something that they feel will be lost in all of this. Do you see what I mean at all in saying that?
Wait, can you say it again?
So he was saying basically that before the French, before the Spanish, before Mesoamericans basically conquered, he said there was a Native American continent and country here, and people are going to forget that, and it's all going to become Spanish or it's going to become American, and we will forget about the Native American.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying at the outset. It's amazing to me to see what that group of people has been through in this country and how unbelievably just forgotten about and just out of sight, out of mind they are. And that's the thing that I've grown to see with culture, because I've seen a lot of different cultures. I through working in radio and sports, I've met a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, and I feel like the cities and the areas that have the biggest problems are the area where like I said in Minneapolis, like when we were talking about what went on there, and people were saying that was a ticking time bomb from the beginning with the discrepancy. I remember going to Minneapolis so many times, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, where the minority communities live? Like, you don't see people; they're just so out of sight. And when you get communities like that, that's when the clash, the culture war kind of exists. That's when there's this feeling of oppression, and I see that in my own city. Like St. Louis is a very, very good example of that. And for a community of Native Americans, like we talk about all the different minority communities, they are you.
I can't think of anybody that's basic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't even hear about them unless they're like they show them in a TV, and there's like I go into an Indian casino. But before I say goodbye, it is 4th of July weekend. I want to know, what the heck are y'all doing on the 4th of July? And do y'all think y'all are doing anything like Mike Tyson? Because did you see him in his steel cage little showdown thing?
No. Oh, God. What's he doing?
Oh, Lord have mercy, dude. He picked up a steel cage on L.A. Beach like it was a toy, and basically just moved the whole damn thing because he's Mike Tyson.
Hey, man, the gods of war have awakened his fighting. What was the quote he used?
The gods of war have awakened my soul.
Or something.
The god of Mao has awakened up the warrior in there or whatever. But here's another thing. He did say again this weekend, he says he wants a piece of Evander Holyfield. Now that he's come out now twice and said he wants a piece, is this going to really happen?
No! Mike Tyson, not everybody's as in shape as him at 53. You know what I mean? Evander,
Didn't he give him back his ear in a Burger King commercial? So at least Evander's got his ear back.
Oh, God.
Gentlemen, I hope y'all have a happy 4th of July.
All right, man.
Alex, Gabe, I love y'all more than anything.
Johnny, have fun this weekend, man.
Hey, we will.
Have a good July 4th.
I will. It's my birthday, so I have to.
Hey, we're going to do
happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. He's a 4th of July birthday
hey, guys,
boy.
I'm gonna get Carl a present too, man.
I gotta say goodbye to these fools. I love both of them. That's Gabe. That's Alex. I'm late for a break. Never forget 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Bing, bang, boom. I just sold your house. Literally that quick, because any house, any area, as is. As simple as that. This is Sports 56. It's 96.1. Hardwood's next on 87.7 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, we've stopped thinking outside the box. Instead, we're thinking inside the bucket. The $2.99 Napa bucket, to be exact. When you fill those bad boys with auto parts, you can get 20% off 3 or more items that fit inside. No overthinking required. Just get your bucket, fill it up, and save 20%. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 7/31/20.
There's a new commissary in town. In Collierville, Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Welcome back into Sports 56 Happy Hour. Whoopsie daisy. I am your pusher, man, and I got to tell you something. I'm so happy for y'all. It's 4th of July. I wish we had baseball, but you know what? It is July. They're having their last bit of tests today. They're actually supposedly on the field. They're working out. Baseball's on its way, dadgummit. Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer. I can't wait to see it. Nation's capital. Ow! Plus, we got basketball. We just got to pray and hope that we get lucky, everything continues to work out. I'm going to stay positive. I believe it can happen. 750 players. They were tested in the last 2 days. Actually, it was actually over 700. I'm sorry, 790 players were tested in the last 2 days. We're going to find out what the percentage. Hopefully sometime today. I keep looking for this number, waiting to see what happens. Mike Trout's looking for it because Mike Trout's come out and said, hey, he wants to know how his baby's going to be born in August, first baby ever. He wants to be there for that child. I feel selfish telling him I want him to go and put his family in danger. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I want baseball, damn it. I want football, damn it. I want basketball, damn it. But you know what I need? I need like a super scientist with the biggest brain ever coming out and like making this vaccine quickly. You know what I'm saying? We need that. That's what we need. We need this sucker like yesterday. So hopefully that's going to happen, and I'm praying that we get SEC football. Big 12 is scaring me. Pac-12 is scaring the bleep out of me. Told y'all about Kansas. They've cut down workouts. We know about Kansas State, Texas. We know about Clemson. We know everything that I can basically tell you. And basically, September 12th, Navy's already canceled one of their football games. You know that, right? They canceled against FCS Lafayette, I believe. On September 12th. No, I don't believe that. I know that. On September 12th. And then, of course, like I said, Kansas is held. They're not doing workouts anymore. The Pac-12, and this is what I keep bringing out. Pac-12, their commissioner, the more he talks, the scare, like the less I'm like, damn, 2020 in. Do you know what I'm saying? It just makes me think that we might have spring football, like for the first time ever. I mean, hey, they canceled the World Series for the first time since 1945. You know why they canceled it in 1945? World War II. That's it. It's 2020. Even the year they striked, Pedro was on fire. Toronto looks like they're going to win that junk easily. We didn't have a World Series, but damn it, we had an all-star game. We've had an all-star game every year since 1945. We're not having one this year. I hope we get 60 games in 66 days. I hope we get baseball. I'm very hopeful. We're going to find out Mike Trout's where he is. But I will remind you, it is time to get to one of my favorite segments in the whole wide world. But before I do, I have to remind you, your home, and that is the truth. It's your biggest expense, at least in my personal opinion, unless you're richer than me. Maybe you got gold bricks and bars and diamonds, and maybe you don't need to listen to me. Or maybe you do because you have such a dope pad. You want to hear this. You have such a great house, or maybe you have a commercial property, and that's how you make all your money. You want to definitely listen to me because BrianElderRoofing.com, which is Brian Elder Roofing Solutions, I'm telling you right now, they are the only roofing company I would trust with the largest investment I can think of. Water damage, nightmare. But guess what? Nobody can take care of you like Brian Elder Roofing. All you have to do is call 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Call my friend Brian Elder. Also, my friend Chris Price. One of them are waiting on your calls. 901-867-0303. Call them. And guess what? They'll be out there, and I promise you, this can be like stressful. They will make you cool, calm, relaxed. They will fix this, and they'll make sure that this essential emergency turns into something that you're like, damn, that was a pleasurable service. How can you have that happen? But call 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Call my buddies at Brian Elder. or go to BrianElderRoofing.com. Give me Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Wowzers. I mentioned Mike Tyson. He's out there like ripping up like steel posts, wearing bags with weights on them. He's on the beach walking around at 54 years old with hundreds of pounds of weights, like with, you know what I'm saying? He looks so ripped. He's getting me pumped up to work out. Like, I'm not talking about 12-ounce curls either. I'm thinking about going and lifting weights. I don't know if I'm going to think about it when the segment's over, but right now I'm thinking about it. You know? Like Mike Tyson right now. He left like he was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I don't know if you ever... You're too young. You don't understand the way that dude knocked people out. We had that game on
I've
Nintendo.
seen it.
And I didn't even have a little gaming system. But I knew Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, okay? And I also know that Contra, up, down, left, right, BA, select, start. I knew that one too, but that's it. But Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was awesome. Mike Tyson was awesome. And then he got Evander Holyfield and fighting ears, and everything went down. I think he did too much yay. He got with that good-looking, she was a movie star, Robin Givens, ended up going to jail. Like, life went the wrong way. Mike Tyson is now got Mao or whatever. Like, now he's spiritually clean, he says. By the way, Mike Tyson says evil exists. Love exists. Beauty exists. So does spirituality. And again, I told you all this the other day, and I didn't tell you exactly who said it, but religion is for people who are afraid of hell. Spirituality is for those who have been to hell. Mike Tyson. That's a pretty dope comment. So, the power of Mao and the power of Mike Tyson, and him saying, if you look at your heroes in this world, how Barry Bonds, Mickey Mantle, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens, Mark McGwire, you name it, we try to tear him down for something. Mike Tyson was torn down. Mike Tyson at 54 feels like he's ready to rock. I think whoever gets in the ring with Mike Tyson is going to get they're going to get their clock job.
I've seen his workout. Yeah, I would not get in the ring with him.
By the way, I don't care if you're a professional damn fighter right now. Only person that I think like Mike doesn't want a piece of is Tyson Fury, heavyweight champion of the world. He's on top of his game. Plus, he's so tall, he'd keep him away. Mike could never get in and knock him out.
I believe he can still take him.
I still don't know. Tyson Fury is too much of a... He's too... You got to remember, Tyson Fury is also how much younger, and he's also a crazy person, too. And he's a monster. He'd keep Mike... I mean, that reach is way too far. But you know, my homeboy who looks like Ruiz, you know, the dude that looks like a gym teacher? I would see Mike fight Andy Ruiz. If Evander Holyfield ain't happy with getting his ear back on that Burger King commercial and don't want to step in the ring, give me Andy Ruiz. I'm down. I'll pay for it. I want Mike. Now, July 4th, I want Mike Tyson as my wish back in the ring. What could be your July 4th wish?
I wish basketball would have started on July 4th instead of at the end of the month.
Ooh, that's a good one. I wish basketball and baseball were playing right now. That would be a dream come true. I got to ask you something. This is going to blow your mind. Did you hear about the ultra rare signed LeBron James rookie card?
Who?
Have you heard about this? I just found out about this today. It's a card from 2003, 2004 Upper Deck. It's in perfect condition. It makes me wonder who actually put this thing out. Some people are wondering. It's a perfect card in perfect condition with a perfect LeBron James signature.
They're selling it?
Now, nobody's saying who's selling it. Nobody's saying who the person is, but Golden Auctions is selling it. Now, a lot of people thought they would get $1 million for it. The current price is $1,200,000. Right now, some people are thinking that it could fetch as much as $2 million before this bad boy. It's going on right now. $2 million before it's over. My question: Is this LeBron James, his card?
Do you have a picture of the card?
Dude, it's perfect. Like, I mean, it is. And I mean, but like, why wouldn't you tell who you are if you're selling this? Would you make LeBron mad? Unless you're LeBron. Like, that's the front and the back. It's perfect. It's in, you know what I mean? It's his rookie year. And then he signed it perfectly. And again, he doesn't need to, he doesn't need to do this for money. Heck, he can maybe give it to charity. Who knows? Or maybe he's just like, damn, I'm just going to take advantage of the situation. I don't blame him, to be honest with you.
I don't either.
If I had a rookie card and I could sign the back of it, and then I could hand it to an auction company, and they could give me another, $1 million, I'm doing it. But I'm just wondering, who else who else would have this card? Do you know what I mean by that? I'm sorry, Mike Trout, I feel like he did this thing last year or a year before, and he got $900,000 for his rookie card that was signed. I don't know if you saw this. And this is why I bring this up, because I feel like Mike Trout did it first. There is somebody who I actually think also Michael Jordan did this to one. But I also, again, think LeBron James is doing this one. Now, congratulations to these people, because you are the best of the best. And yes, if you actually, hey, look, found one of your rookie cards. Give me that. Let me sign it. Let me keep it. A few years later, you can auction that bad boy off for some serious cheddar. I don't blame you. But who else? All of a sudden, who else has got this perfectly mint condition rookie card with a perfect LeBron James signature on it? Unless it's LeBron James. Or his mama.
LeBron or Bronny Jones.
Dude, could you imagine if you're his son and this is LeBron?
Have you seen his video?
Oh, he's awesome. No, he is so good. But no, how funny. Son, did you just auction off my card for $2 million?
I need some allowance, Dad.
Sorry, Dad. I was trying to get some money. Dude, I didn't even think about it. What if it is Bronny Jr.? Oh, my gosh. You got my head spinning. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope you're ready for July 4th. America, baby. Anyway, I love all of y'all. Whatever you do, don't you dare look at the dial. Don't even think about touching it. We'll be back in 2 shakes. Remember one thing, though. Eat CBQ, because it is 4th of July, and man, where else can you get better ribs on the 4th of July? Don't be like my loser friend who actually tried to cook ribs. You're in Memphis, Tennessee. Just go pick them up at Central Barbecue. They're on Poplar, Summer, Central, and downtown. Anybody, anywhere can simply just go eatcbq.com, find which location, call in an order, bing, bang, boom. 4th of July is saved. It's wonderful. And you don't have your crazy uncle or grandfather trying to cook ribs when we live in Memphis, Tennessee, where there's Central Barbecue. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At TermBusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call TermBusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Welcome back into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I love me a little widespread panic. I love me a little 4th of July. I love me some Central Barbecue. I love me some Chad Gatlin. I love Bill over at I Buy Houses. And man, I love every single one of y'all. Also want to remind y'all a couple things. I love laughing. And I used to actually be a professor. I'm not a professor anymore. It was funny that I actually taught. To me, that is, for some reason, I find that hilarious. But I found one of the funniest things I've ever seen that I want to share with y'all. And it's stories from professors, teachers, from kindergarten to college. And there was just a couple cute ones that I wanted to read to y'all to make you kind of laugh. I want you to get ready for this 4th of July weekend. The Nathan Hot Dog Eating Contest is happening at 11 Central, noon Eastern. It's about all you can look forward to. There's not a whole lot going on, by the way. I can't wait for baseball. I can't wait to see Garrett Cole and Max Scherzer toe the rubber. I can't wait to see somebody in a damn bubble shoot a basketball. I want to see the Grizzlies and the Pelicans in August. I want this to happen. I want it all to happen, but I also want everybody to enjoy their 4th of July weekend. And I want you to laugh before I hand the mic off to Wolo, because Brett Norsworthy is about to take over. But there was a couple of things that literally made me crack up. And I'm ready to tell you a few of them. So this happened in a high school, senior year. Our teacher was talking about the phases of the moon. And a girl raised her hand and asked, "Do other countries have moons too?" She thought the moon was only for the U.S. That's why the U.S. is the only one that landed on the moon, because we were the only ones that could get to it. Wow. Could you imagine being that dumb to think that there's only a moon for the United States? Do other countries have moons?
That's made up, right?
No, this is dead serious. By the way, just so you know, she was a junior. One of my favorite.
Hold up. What year of junior? Like, was this her first junior year? Or?
This was her first junior
Right.
year. But this is from my 21-year-old senior RJ. I didn't believe any student could be dumber. He or she, will just say, may have to be may need literally be the dumbest person that ever lived. So, RJ, he's 21-year-old senior, okay? He's failed freshman. He passed sophomore, failed junior, also failed his senior. So he's now repeating. He's repeated every grade, but somehow he passed his sophomore year. I think his sophomore teachers were just like, hell no, we ain't dealing with him again. Listen to this. RJ, senior year, 21 years old. They go on a thing. He did not realize, this is a dead serious, RJ didn't realize that chicken that we eat was actually the same thing as the animal. RJ, the 21-year-old senior, is also from like a very rural state in the Midwest, where they went to, for some reason, a chicken farm. and they saw chickens like defeathered and however the heck they do whatever they do to chickens in that part of the world. RJ told his teacher, "No way. I'm never eating chicken nuggets again." RJ, you take the cake.
He's probably still in school, right?
Oh, dude, there's no way this guy ever got out of school. Like, ever got out of school. Like, some of these things that I've read just make me laugh. And then there was one more cute one that I thought was funny. So the high school teacher said, last year I was showing my students clips from Romeo and Juliet. Student stared at the screen in total bewilderment, raises her hand. Then she says, "As serious as cancer. How can he be in this movie? I watched him die in the Titanic." Talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. So, all the people out there who are ignorant, somebody's dumber than you. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy life, and remember, I hope that the Nathan Hot Dog eating contest is, well, I hope, what's his name? Chester. What's it? What is his name? Nathan's Chester eater? No, what is it? Nathan's hot dog eating contest. What's his name?
I forget.
Come on, dude. Joey Chestnut.
Okay,
something.
yeah.
I knew it was Chess something. I kept saying Chester. No, Joey Chestnut. We all here on the 4th of July want you to know we are rooting for you to take down 77 wieners. Good luck. I don't know if I will ever say. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And I hope Joey Chestnut breaks the record and takes down 77 wieners in like 10 minutes. 11 o'clock, 4th of July tomorrow on ESPN. You can watch it, but whatever you do, don't you dare touch that dial. Coming up next, you got Sports Time with my good friend Brett Norsworthy. And remember this, we got to pray that we get football in the fall. But dadgummit, July is so important, not just because of the 4th, but we got baseball, we got basketball, and we got to make it work now or it won't work then. I'm going to see you on Monday. I'll always say this, get out there, make the world a better place. See you on the flip side. Peace!
Good news. Southland Casino is now back open. That's right. The most spacious